Today we will be discussing about the cloud security. Now the first topic is cloud information security objectives. What are the objectives? As you can see in the screen, the triangle, that is the confidentiality, integrity and availability. What is this confidentiality? It is the secrecy, that is ensuring only authorized users can access your information. Let's take an example. Your medical records stored in the cloud should only be accessed to you, your doctor and authorized hospital staffs only. Number 2 is integrity, that is the accuracy, that is guaranteeing your information remains unaltered and accurate. Let's take an example. Financial transactions processed in a cloud-based accounting system must be accurate to avoid errors. Number 3 is availability, that is the accessibility, that is making sure your information and applications are accessible when needed. The example is your online store running in the cloud must be available 24/7 for customers to make purchases. Now the question is, why cloud security is important? Imagine your cloud storage like a bank. Now your goals are confidentiality, that is only authorized people can access your data, like keeping your bank vault secure. Next is integrity, that is your data remains accurate and complete, like maintaining accurate bank record. Next one is availability. You can access your data whenever you need it, like being able to withdraw money when needed. Now we will study about cloud security services. Basically, it measures implemented to protect your cloud environment. Number 1 is encryption, that is scrambling data to make it unreadable without a decryption key. Think of locking your documents in a safe. Number 2 is access control, defining who can access specific information and functionality. Let's think of issuing keys to authorized personnel. Number 3 is threat detection, that is identifying and responding to potential security breaches. Let's think of having security cameras and alarms in your building. Now think of this security guard for your cloud bank. Identify and access management, that is IAM, which controls who enters the bank, that is authentication, and what they can do, that is authorization. Next one is data encryption, scrabbles your data like a vault, making it unreadable without a key. Next one is security information and event management, that is SIEM, which monitors activities for suspicious behavior like security camera in a bank. Now we will study about design principle. What are these design principles? Basically, these are the guidelines for building secured cloud system. Number 1 is least privilege, that is granting users only the minimum level of access needed to perform their task. Let's just think of it giving your babysitter a key of the front door only, not the entire house. Number 2, defense in depth, that is implementing multiple secured layers to create a more robust defense. Let's think of using a combination of lockers, alarms and security cameras. Let's take an example and think of it. These are your bank building plans ensuring security for the start. As per the section 1, users only get access to what they need, like cashiers having access only to cash drawers. Number 2, multiple layers of security, like a bank having a locker door or locked door, security cameras and guards. Now the topic is secure cloud software requirements. It basically specifies the features and functionalities that ensures the security of software designed for the cloud. Let's take an example of it. When developing a cloud-based banking app, requirements might include secured user authentications, data encryptions at rest and in transit, and regular security audits. Basically, we can say these are your blueprints for secured cloud software, like specifying a secured locker or lock for your bank vault. Secure development practice. These are how you build your software, following best practice to minimize vulnerabilities. Number 1 is secure coding. That is, writing code free for errors that attackers could exploit, like ensuring the vault door is properly designed. Think of proofreading a document to catch any error. Number 2 is threat modeling. Identifying potential threats and building safeguards, like considering robbery attempts and installing alarms. Cloud software requirement engineering. It defines what the software needs to do, including security features, like number 1, identify security threats. Number 2 is specifying security control. Now, what is this identifying the security threats? Basically, it's the understanding the potential ways attackers might exploit the softwares. And the second one, that is the specifying the security control, is the defining measures to mitigate identified threats. Now, the next topic is privacy risk. It is concerned about who can access your data in the cloud and how it's used. Let's take an example of it. That is, social media platforms collect user data, raising concerns about how it's used for targeted advertising or shared with third parties. The next one is compliance risk. It is the potential for violating regulations and laws governing data security. Example is healthcare providers storing patients' data in the cloud must comply with regulations like HIPAA, that is Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, to protect patients' privacy. Threats. Threats are things that could compromise your cloud security, like thieves trying to rob a bank. Let's take example, infrastructure threat, that is targeting the physical data center, like a power outage affecting the bank's system. Number 2 is data breach, that is unauthorized access to sensitive informations like hackers stealing customers' data from the bank. Now we will study about data and access control. What is this control? Basically, these controls are measures to mitigate threats like the bank's security measures. Now, number 1 is data and access control. That is restricting access to sensitive informations like requiring password and two-factor authentication for accessing bank accounts. Number 2 is access control. That is managing who can access and manage your cloud resources. Let's take an example of it. Implementing strong password policies, multi-factor authentication, and users' activity monitoring to prevent unauthorized access. That's why in Facebook or in WhatsApp also we can see two-factor authentication, or they asked us to provide a strong password by using capital letter, small letter, special character and numbers. Cloud service provider risk. Number 1, reliance on a third party. That is, your data security depends on the security practices of your cloud provider. Let's take an example. By choosing a reputable cloud provider with a strong track record of security is crucial. Number 2 is data logging. That is the difficulty of moving your data to another cloud provider if needed. By evaluating vendor lock-in, it is important before choosing a cloud provider. Cloud security policy implementation. Basically, this is your cloud security rulebook outlining how to achieve your security objectives. Think of it like the bank security procedure manual, detailing protocol for employees and customers. It covers acceptable use policies for cloud resources, incident resource procedure for handling security breach, and last but not the least is user training on security cloud practices. Thank you everyone. Now, I have discussed about the different topics of cloud security and different questions are given in the screen. You can go through it. Thank you.